You must have heard about Indian billionaire businessman Gautam Adani briefly dropping out of the top 20 richest individuals in the world in early February 2023, after losing $12 billion in a single day. This dramatic decline from the third richest man in the world to his current rank was a direct outcome of a report released by US short seller Hindenburg. I'll walk you through the emergence of Adani, the findings in the Hindenburg investigation, and how they affected both Adani's corporate empire and the Indian economy as a whole in this video. Let's get started. Gautam Adani is the chairman and founder of Adani Group, a multinational conglomerate involved in port of development, energy, and multiple other businesses in India. He was born on the 24th of June 1962, as one of 7 children in a Jain family in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, a western Indian state. Adani studied in Gujarat University's Bachelor of Commerce program, but dropped out after the first year. Although he loved business, he didn't care for his father's textile company. Adani arrived in Mumbai in 1978 when he was 16 years old and found work at Mahendra Brothers sorting diamonds. But after 3 years, his older brother bought a plastics factory in Ahmedabad and asked him to run it as a project manager. Adani's entry into international trade via polyvinyl chloride or PVC imports was facilitated by this business. After 3 years of importing primary polymers for small-scale enterprises, Adani founded Adani Exports, which is today known as Adani Enterprises, and is the holding company for the Adani Group. The company's initial focus was on agricultural and energy commodities. In 1991, when India's economic liberalization policies benefited his company, he diversified into metals, textiles, and agricultural commodities trading. Adani was awarded the license to oversee the Mundra port by the government of Gujarat in 1994, as part of his plan to outsource managerial responsibilities for the facility. In a short period of time, he had the first jetty up and running. Adani Ports took control of operations that were formerly managed by Mundra Port and Special Economic Zone. With a capacity of about 210 million tons of cargo per year, Mundra Port is India's largest private sector port at present. Adani was expanding at a tremendous speed, having entered the power generation business in the mid-1990s under the name Adani Power, and quickly becoming the country's largest private thermal power producer. In 2002, however, his steamroller had its first brush with the law, when Adani was arrested by Delhi police on a cheating complaint made by a high-ranking official at MS Shoes. The next day, after hearing that the parties were trying to reach an agreement, the court revoked his non-bailable warrant. Emboldened and assured about his power, he started expanding his business to foreign lands, and soon acquired Abbott Point Port in Australia and Carmichael Coal Mine in Queensland. Even as the frequency of accusations and probes increased along with his stock price, he remained unfazed. The Serious Fraud Investigation Office, or SFIO, filed a charge sheet in 2012 accusing 12 individuals and companies, including Adani, of fraud and criminal conspiracy. In connection with the purchase and sale of shares, SFIO claims that Adani Agro contributed money and stock to a criminal enterprise. In May of 2014, Adani and the other defendants in this case were exonerated by a local court in Mumbai. Keep in mind that this is May of 2014. His political bestie, Narendra Modi, had just become India's prime minister at the time. He formerly served as the chief minister of the Indian state of Gujarat, where Adani has his headquarters. Adani's fortune got intertwined with that of right-winder Modi, and now his wealth and empire started multiplying at a dizzying pace. The Solar Energy Corporation of India awarded Adani the US $6 billion world record solar bid in 2020. Business periodicals began referring to him as a takeover tycoon after he began buying up companies all over the place. Adani's wealth increased by 121% within 5 years of Modi's tenure as prime minister. He briefly became the world's second richest person in January 2023, with a net worth of $121 billion. He was next to Elon Musk in the billionaire list. Then, like a bomb, the Hindenburg report exploded in his face. The New York-based investment firm published a report titled Adani Group: How the World's Third Richest Man is Pulling the Largest Con in Corporate History. In January 2023, alleging stock manipulation by Adani and his companies. As a result, the market value of Adani Group fell by $45 billion. Adani dropped from number 3 to number 22 on Forbes' list of billionaires due to the losses. As a result of the report's claims that the Adani's Group is heavily indebted and operating on precarious financial footing. The shares of 7 of the group's publicly traded companies dropped by 3 to 7%. To avoid paying taxes, members of the Adani family, according to Hindenburg, set up shop in a vast labyrinth of offshore shell entities in places like Mauritius, Cyprus, and the United Arab Emirates. The report claims that some of these companies were involved in manipulating the market. The Adani Group reacted by publishing a 413-page rebuttal to Hindenburg's claims. It called Hindenburg an unethical short seller, expressing alarm that the statements of an entity sitting thousands of miles away with no credibility or ethics has caused serious and unprecedented adverse impacts on our investors. It went to the extent of calling the report as an attack on India. The CFO of Adani Group went on television with a large Indian flag in the background and claimed that the report's release at that time was done with the brazen, malified intention to harm the company's most recent public offering. The Adani criticism predictably tried to move the focus away from fundamental issues and instead fanned a national narrative. Hindenburg stated in response, "Hindenburg has produced a convincing report with evidence, but you may be wondering if Adani's immediate response is based on anything. Let's have a look at it from another angle." Only 2 days before the launch of the Rs 20,000 crore FPO, Hindenburg Research made its accusations, as opposed to the allocation of shares for Rs 6,000 crore. The anchor investor's book, which opened on Wednesday, got demand worth Rs 9,000 crore from top financial institutions. Adani had to shortly call off the FPO in the wake of the report. This means we can't just brush off the Adani's group claims that Hindenburg published the study for just self-serving objectives, rather than any higher ideals. Hindenburg is a short seller. To engage in a short selling, one borrows a security from one's brokerage and then sells it on the open market with the expectation that its value would fall. The idea is to pay off the debt and then buy the stock back at a cheaper price, pocketing the difference. Whether Hindenburg published the reveal with a malicious intention or not, Adani launched himself on a recovery path after being on a freefall after the report. Following their bloodbath, shares of Adani Group companies have recovered up to 75%. With a huge diversified empire and India's most powerful person on his side, it looks unlikely that he can be destroyed anytime soon. Yet it is undeniable that Adani would find it challenging to quickly restore its prior standing in the global market. Now the tycoon is being intently watched throughout the globe. With this, we wrap up this episode of Informed Investing. To what extent have you followed the Adani-Hindenburg saga? Can the Indian businessman's argument against the US short seller's stinging attack be trusted, or is he a con artist? Drop a line in the discussion and let me know. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, so that you may be notified when I upload a new one.